What is up, guys? This is Derek. Today it is April 16. Pre-London, getting set up for London session is now 1:13 a.m. We're going to be looking at EJ really fast. So first thing, daily time frame. So what do we see after daily? All right, so we see two things. Remember, it's phase 9. I show you the step-by-steps on what I do. First things first, I see that price has these lows towards the downside. We can clearly see price has those lows towards the downside. Now I go to the daily, and I want to see where I'm at. If I look at where I'm at, I see price is just in this little block, right? And we see that price had this kind of like this pin bar type candle. Not necessarily a pin bar, but it has a bearish candle for a large upper wick, a large lower wick. But it's not at the low. It's not at the lowest point. We see that price is not at the lowest point. So what are we looking at? We're trying to see price. So because of that, we understand that price can reject, but again, it's not at the lowest point. It's like kind of like in between price. We also see that this was a bearish candle, and if we go on smaller time frames, we can start seeing a little bit more. So we see break, retest to do a continuation, sell towards the downside. You understand? If we also look at the wicks area, even on the 16-hour, we can see that the blue is riding it. If we look at the 8-hour, we see that the blue is riding it as support. If we look at the 4-hour, red is almost riding it too, as well as the level of support. EMA specifically. If we look at the 3-hour, red over blue. If we look at the 1-hour, now we get the 50 EMA in play. And the 50 EMA is going to be hard to break, you know, unless it does a clear break above. So like 1175, 1176, about 20 pips. Clear break, candle closure. I think this is all pushing towards the downside. Price filled the upper side of this candle before it filled the lower side. So I anticipate break, retest, continuation. Once price reaches here at that price point, then we can anticipate hard sells. And then if we start going on smaller time frames, it's obvious. You can clearly see trend line being formed on every single time frame. And this is probably the best setup. So I don't know if you guys have ever traded this, but when you ever see this type of symmetrical triangle, it tends to push extremely hard. And maybe you guys have never seen it, but you're probably going to see it tonight. So whenever you see this type of symmetrical triangle forming from a lower low perspective, once it pushes, I mean it breaks. Like you get a massive break. It's just a quick, decisive. You're going to get one candle that's just going to engulf everything. It's going to be a massive break of a candle. And that candle is going to be a deciding candle just to continue down. So I honestly think about 100 pip drop on Eurjpy once it gets to these lows. And you can see it again on higher time frames. Maybe it's a little bit harder. You can clearly see the descending triangle on a higher time frame. And people get caught up in this low. People get caught up in this low. You see where my cursor is at? I'll draw the line. This is where people get caught up. But each of the last 1, 2, 3 different pushes, price has always maintained itself and pushed towards the actual low, which is this low point, which I don't think it's going to stop today. So I want price to break, retest, continuation, massive bear candle towards this area. Once we get in this area at that price point, what can we look for? Maybe some sort of rejection, you know, maybe a quick 20 pip scalp towards the top side. But as far as today, London session, everything is sells. All higher time frames, you know, as far as entry purposes, I'm already in the trade. I already called it out. So I'm already in the trade. I think this is pure entries. I don't see when it's going to stop. I don't see why it will stop. I think to confirm it, if you guys want to wait to confirm, that's perfectly fine. Remember, all these videos are posted live. This is happening right now. So once we get a candle closure below 117.350, a big candle closure below 117.350, bearish candle closure below 117.350, at that price point is when we look to sell. Because if we look at the EMAs, again, EMAs you can use them in 2 ways: to follow the current trend on higher time frame, and as soon as it crosses over, that is the beginning and tell story of when price is actually going to break. So once these cross over and we get a big bearish push, I think it's game over. And I think this is going to melt. I definitely believe GJ is the move. EJ is the move for tonight. And that's what I'm looking at. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you.